Hey guys, Cameron from Desert RC. Just picked up this Redcat Ascent 18 Apex. We're gonna get it out on the rocks, hit some hard lines, give you my opinion, some pros and cons about the rig, and let's get it on the rocks and see how it does. I've already played with this thing a little bit on my course at home. This thing does so well out of the box. And I do have some things that I think this thing could be improved still, but for an out-of-the-box RTR, this has got to be like one of the best, most capable out-of-the-box RTRs I've ever seen. Usually there's a lot of room for improvement when it comes to RTRs, but they give you the upgraded electronics, they give you the brass, they give you the overdrive and underdrive. Just Redcat's really stepping up their game these days. It's good to see that from the RC market. Even the tires are good out of the box, and you never see that on an RTR for outdoor use. The original Redcat Ascent 18, the tires were great for indoors, like slick surfaces, like tables and books, but not good on the rocks. These tires do really well on the rocks. If I was gonna add anything to this, I'd probably do a thicker oil in the rear shocks. The rear shocks are laid down too much, so the springs don't really do a whole lot for this. I could either stiffen the springs or put thicker oil in there to help with the action. Because you'll notice on steeper climbs, it wants to just kind of let loose of traction once you get to a certain pitch and incline. I'll see if I can replicate what I'm talking about here. I've actually changed the ESC in mine. I'll show you guys in a little bit what ESC I went with in here. I'll tell you a little bit about it now. I've got the Sequre ESC. They were kind enough to send me their new micro ESC called the Ant. And it's buttery smooth, and it's only like 26 bucks for the ESC, and it's just as good, if not better, than the hobby wing that came in this thing. It's a little bit smoother down low, less startup hesitation. I'll put their link in the description below. Great budget ESC, probably one of the best ones out there. So many RC companies doing some amazing things right now. I don't know how they're doing it. Like with Redcat, I don't know how they made this $250 with all the upgrades like brass, electronics, tires are great. It's a comp-based chassis. Okay, we're gonna get this line. Show me an RTR that can pull off lines like this. So good. Now, I had to pay for this out of my own pocket. I got it from Coyote at Sky RC. He's got quite a few left, so if you're in the southern Utah area, I would suggest going there to pick one up. Yeah, this is a little bit of what I was talking about. Watch the rear end. See how it's twisting? The shocks don't really do much here. I would love to get the shocks in a higher position, but I can't do that. I need them more perpendicular to the ground, not so parallel. That would help with that rear end more. It wouldn't twist out as much. One thing I might change when I get a chance is to put some aftermarket wheels on there with some brass rings on the inside. Out of the box, it comes with a 60% forward weight bias, but I typically like a little more, like 62 to 64%. The track width on this, it's too wide for my liking. And when you have the wheels so far offset from the axle, you get a lot of wheel scrub. And instead of turning as sharp as it could, it pushes the tires out. And if I can get the wheel closer to the pivoting point of the knuckles, I'll get more accurate steering angle. And that's one thing I definitely want to do. These tires are like 66 millimeters tall. They're really tall. We're already on portals. I'd like to put some 63 mil, probably Bossman or J Concept Tuss tires on here with some wheel inserts. I think that would really help this thing out a little bit, give it that lower center of gravity, and also bring that track width in. That track width is helping us a lot right here with that side hill stability. I'd personally like another 10% overdrive. I think having about in the 30s is a sweet spot for any scale of rock crawler. And I think that would really help this thing out even more so. I think even with these stock tires, I think if I had a better insert, it would allow a little more conformity of the tire. And those little lugs on these tires just hook really well, but the tire's just a little too firm. But all in all, for being an RTR, like it's doing great. Track width here is just a little much in this section. I gotta try to sneak it around here. Let me know in the comments why you guys choose RC rock crawling as your hobby. For me, it's just the slow, methodical line choice. It's a lot like chess. You gotta pick your move. You gotta think and plan ahead for your next move. And it's the flow too. I like getting into the flow of rock crawling. Just picking a line and going with it and chasing the hard lines. It's one of my favorite hobbies because of that reason. And it's challenging. Okay, so we're off the track here. All right, I hate the bypass that line, but we'll come back to it another day with some upgrades. I think we can definitely get that spot. I narrow the track width, maybe put a little bit more overdrive, or those weighted wheels I was talking about. Come on. Let's move on to the next one. So I found this really cool spot, and I'm hoping that this thing can pull it off. It's like the perfect 18th scale line. So hopefully this thing can get in there and pull this off. Let me pause for a second. Back into it. So close. I hate to do that, but let's see if I can get this rear end over this. There we go. Here we go. Let's see if we can drive into this wall and drive over it. Nope. Yeah, a little wide here. See if we can recover that. All right, I'm gonna give you guys the conclusion here. Let's get into it. All right, so here I've got the Sequre Ant ESC in this. Like I said, it's 26 bucks. I'll put a link in the description below, but Redcat did an excellent job with this chassis. The skid sits up high. The link geometry is in a pretty good position. I would like to see more anti-dive in the front. The only issue with that is that if you were to lower this thing anymore, let me see if I can zoom in here, the motor will hit on the upper front link, so you can't really sit this thing any lower, and you're kind of stuck with where it's at. And with the shocks in one of the higher positions here, you could see you could lay it down even more, but that's kind of pointless. With that all the way compressed, the rear links, the lowers, are hitting on this part of the chassis right here. So you could probably fix that by smoothing out this radius. But all in all, for what it is, out of the box, great rig. For 250 bucks, this is definitely something you can put in your kids' Christmas list and have a good time with. And for the price point, you can't beat it. You can't build a 1/18 rock crawler this capable for this cheap. And I don't know how Redcat's doing it, but keep it up, guys. Is there anything else you'd like to see on this rig? Leave it in the comments. I'll be sure to do it in the next video. Any upgrades you suggest, I'll do that as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.